Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, proposed the Ulster Spring fire station in limbo, residents are disappointed. Residents in southern Trelawney, who were anxiously looking forward to the construction of the promised fire station in Ulster Spring, are now wondering if the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has walked back the plan because the site that was prepared has seemingly been abandoned and is now covered in bushes. It looked like the man them changed them mind and no tell we. The place bush up back and nobody no contact the man them who them selected for train as firefighter, a resident told the news yesterday. It is a big shame because if we have a fire right now, the nearest fire station they over 45 minutes away, and with the pothole them on the roads them, you can add another 45 minutes. After years of lobbying by the residents, local government minister Desmond Mackenzie in April 2023 announced that $42 million was earmarked for the construction of a fire station in Ulster Spring, Trelawney, much to the delight of the residents. The residents' joy increased when preparation of the site started, and the several young men were identified to be trained as firefighters. However, since the initial clearing of the site, nothing has happened, and the site is once again covered in bushes, which has caused some residents to believe that the project has been abandoned. Work has ceased, pipes and a water tank have been removed, and the area is now overgrown with bushes, said Ronald Williams, one of the many concerned residents. When the news contacted Superintendent Roland Walters last week, the head of the Trelawney Fire Brigade, for an update on the station in Ulster Spring, he was reluctant to talk about it and said all queries should be directed to the Commissioner of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Stuart Beckford. However, when Beckford's office was contacted later in the week, his secretary told the news that Mr. Beckford is unavailable now, but you can leave your contact information and he will call you back. With Beckford not returning the promised call, the news has since made repeated attempts to reach him without success. At the time of the announcement by Mackenzie, who had visited the proposed location, it was Walters who told the news that the recruitment drive to identify suitable candidates to be trained as firefighters to man the fire station at Ulster Spring upon completion. In addition to Ulster Spring, the proposed fire station would be in line to support the communities such as Alps, Sawyers, Albertown, Freeman's Hall, and the communities on the Trelawney-Manchester border, to include Christiana, which is 45 minutes away. Aside from calls to Beckford, the news has also been making attempts to speak to the local government minister since last week, but his phones also rang without answer. St. Thomas transport operators clash over JUTC buses. The recent introduction of Jamaica Urban Transit Company buses to St. Thomas has sparked a mixed response from private public transport operators in the parish, with some hailing the initiative as a much-needed relief for commuters, while others see it as a threat to their livelihoods. I don't care about who disagree, but I am glad for the JUTC buses. This is the best thing to ever happen to St. Thomas, said a taxi driver who gave his name as Stephen. The taxi driver, who operates on the Morante Bay to Yallus route, was involved in a heated argument with other taxi and bus operators on Tuesday, sparked by a spectacle created by a tour of the parish by Minister Darrell Vaz and other stakeholders. He was seen expressing support for the JUTC buses while being hit with verbal abuse from his colleagues, who did not hold back in showing their disappointment with his position. "You're a sellout like the rest of them," one bus driver shouted before he left. After the heated argument, Stephen told the news that he was frustrated with some of his colleagues who were arguing with him about his stance. He argued that St. Thomas residents deserve easier access to public transportation. "The reason why I am glad for them as a taxi driver is because not everybody have it, and I understand it. And the coaster buses that run to town are charging way too much. Plus in the evenings, they do not want to carry the students from town unless they squeeze them up and tell them to stand up," said Stephen. He declared that affordability was a key reason for his decision to support the provision of JUTC buses as he was disgruntled with what he described as the unreasonable prices set by some taxi and the bus operators. One little 6-year-old, the busman them a charge $350 just to go to town, and things like that make me glad for these buses. Some people who only earn $16,000 every week and have to pay $500 go town plus find other fare if they're going halfway through or popping. Plus them have to find lunch. It's just too much for some people, and some people struggle to see them way, added Stephen. He said he was not concerned about the JUTC buses impacting his earnings, as there are enough passengers for everyone to thrive. The amount of people here who need transport is enough for everybody, and everybody can eat a food. When the buses are here, the people will prefer the JUTC. But when those buses are gone, everybody else can still get passengers, and everybody can still eat a food same way, because people are traveling right through the day, said Stephen. But one man who helps to load the taxis and the buses in Morant Bay was completely opposed to Stephen's stance, labeling the initiative a sellout of the parish. They come to take all the money and bring it to town. Where are we supposed to get money? Said the loader man, who refused to give his name. When a JUTC bus come in and take away the work, which part we are going to make money, because everybody have them demands and them children to feed. And it feels like a sellout thing, because all of the little money we're supposed to work only going straight to the government, declared the loader man. Responding to the concerns of some bus and the taxi operators, Vaz noted that while some may have concerns, his observations indicate sufficient passenger demand for everyone to benefit. Obviously, once you have competition, people will never be happy, but the fact of the matter is what I am seeing here is that there's more than enough passenger flow to satisfy both the taxis and the JUTC, and we just have to integrate to make sure that we offer the best services for the citizens of St. Thomas and of course the country at large, said Vaz. JUTC began operations in St. Thomas on December 2 with 4 buses, 2 each assigned to the Morant Bay to Kingston and the Yallahs to Kingston routes. Vaz announced during the tour on Tuesday that more than 5,000 passengers took the JUTC buses during its first week of operations in the parish. The one to Yallahs was almost 3,000, and the one to Morant Bay was almost a little over 2,000, and that's just a start. People are still getting their smarter cards to be able to benefit from the reduced rates, and there is a keen interest in the routes, so this is just another expansion of the routes, Vaz said. Gleaner workers protest delayed payment of new salaries. Some Gleaner company workers on Wednesday afternoon rallied at the entrance of its North Street headquarters to protest the company's failure to honor its commitment to pay their new salaries and retroactive amounts this month. The Union of Technical, Administrative and Supervisory Personnel, the group representing the workers, says that the workers had expected that the new salaries and retroactive amounts would be included in the December pay cycle as agreed on in a recently signed heads of agreement. But it says that the Gleaner company has now indicated that the payments will not be made this month and has provided no clarity on when they will take effect. UTAPS says the lack of communication and transparency has left the workers with no choice but to take action to advance their cause. The union further contends that throughout the negotiation process, the company gave no indication that they were experiencing financial difficulties or delays in finalizing the agreement. UTAPS says it had also expedited its efforts to ensure that the negotiations were completed in a timely manner, making significant concessions to meet the December deadline. It adds that despite these efforts, the company's silence and the failure to act have caused the frustration and the disappointment among the workers. UTAPS is calling for the Gleaner company to immediately fulfill its obligations to the workers by implementing the agreed upon salaries and paying all retroactive amounts without a further delay. The Gleaner Company Limited is a member of the RGR Gleaner Communications Group. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.